If you want a super easy, budget-friendly technique to create a stone effect on any type of vessel that gives an expensive, high-end look, then keep watching.
Today I'm going to show you how I create a stone effect on pots, on vases, on any objet d'art that you want to revamp. So I've used this method for several years now, and every pot I've done this on is still in great condition, so it does work. I've got some finds here to show you. This is a charity shop find, £7, very heavy, really good weight, and unusually it's got its lid intact, because quite often these get chipped, they get broken, they get lost. So happy with that one. It's great, I love it, but I just don't want this orange in my home. It doesn't suit my decor. Little 50p bric-a-brac sugar. It probably had tea and coffee next to it at some point in time, so that's going to get a revamp. And then this poor sausage here, who's obviously had a very bad paint job. You can see how the paint has adhered here, but inside there's a very heavy glaze, so it hasn't been prepped properly, or it hasn't had the right technique on it, and therefore the paint has lifted. Normally, if you're going to paint something like this, then you would abrade it, you would sand it to key the surface so the paint has something to stick to, or you'd use a primer. But we're not going to do that. We're not going to be using paint at all today. Let me show you how I do it. I'm going to do it by just using two things, two components. And one is this powder, which is Joint Compound, Easy Fill. It's very fast setting, it goes off in 20 minutes. I buy it in the powder form as opposed to the ready-made, because I want to control the texture. I don't want it too smooth. I want to be able to put more or less water in. Water I have here ready to go in. And the other thing is soil, earth, dirt, whatever you want to call it. This beautiful granular earth is courtesy of the moles in the field. Fortunately, they stay in my field and they don't come into the main garden. Well, not at the moment anyway, so we're living in harmony. But they create these wonderful piles of earth down in the field. So if ever I want lovely granulated earth, I just go down there and scoop some up. Other things, gloves, because you really don't want to be putting your hands in there. And I am using my hands. I'm not using any brushes or anything like that. And I can get a bit sloppy, so I cover up. Cover up, cover all, big old shirt, whatever, just keep yourself clean. Let's get started.
I use disposable cartons because I don't want to have to do the clearing up at the end. And I work in small batches because this goes off really quite quickly. So I give it a good mix and get it to the consistency that I would like. And then it's really a case of get your hands in and slap it on there. I keep working the filler around, and then once I've covered a section, I'll go back in and I use a patting technique. This creates the texture, and as it starts to dry, you can decide just how much texture you want on there, whether you want it smoother or whether you want it chunky. The dirt is patted in randomly, again depending on the overall look and finish that you want, whether you want it very dark or whether you're just wanting little hints. You've got to remember this will dry a lot lighter than it looks now. I also always do the bottom of my vessels and the inside if they're wide-necked. It's a bit chilly in the kitchen, so I'm just speeding up the drying slightly with a hairdryer. I'm going to keep on repeating this process on the other items and leave to dry overnight. And it's as simple as that. No paint, no sealer, no wax. These aren't going to be in a high touch area, so I'm not going to seal them. The light colours work beautifully with my neutral decor, giving a wonderfully rustic touch. So that's all for this week. I hope you've enjoyed that. If you're not subscribed already, please do, and join me next week.